Hi, Mandy Sackett with the Surfrider Foundation. Thank you for the report and welcome, Dr. Hucklebridge. We're very happy to be joining you for your first meeting here. The devastating storms have given us a glimpse of what sea level rise will look like on our coast, and they demonstrate the urgency with which we need to adapt. Here's flooding in Imperial Beach. Next slide. Our entire coast was impacted. Seal Beach flooding. Next slide. Hermosa Beach. Next slide. And of course, we know that Santa Cruz experienced really extensive damage and millions of dollars worth of property damage. Next slide, please. Parts of Ventura also experienced flooding and erosion, but we are very happy to report that the managed retreat / living shoreline project at Surfers Point held up very nicely. This image by Rick Reed on January 18th is of the Surfers Point Phase 1 managed retreat project within the circled area. And we're looking forward to getting Phase 2 funded just down coast where it's a little bit more narrow. Next slide, please. The executive director report details 12 emergency permits, 6 seawalls, 16 more pending, and this doesn't include the unknown number of local government emergency actions, such as along West Cliff Drive in Santa Cruz, shown here. In the early 90s, California experienced a particularly intense El Nino year that resulted in over 50 emergency seawalls, many of which we suspect still remain today. Unfortunately, staff in the commission's database don't have a transparent way of tracking and following up with how many unpermitted emergency seawalls still exist. Staff are really under-resourced, and we recognize that there's a really huge challenge there. We hope that the commission can find some way to ensure these supposedly temporary seawalls are carefully tracked and the applicants held accountable for their follow-up CDPs. We do need to move away from allowing seawalls to be permitted under temporary emergency permits. It's time to take seriously the need for managed retreat and living shoreline projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Denise Urkeneff.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning, Chair Brown-C, Coastal Commissioners and staff, and warm welcome to Dr. Hucklebridge. I'm Denise Urkeneff, Surfrider Foundation, South Orange County chapter. I want to thank the Commission for approving the nature-based adaptation project at Capistrano Beach and Dana Point last November. And this video is a report from late December 2022. Billy, if you can cue the video. You'll see the way that's in here. Continued deterioration, especially at the emergency permitted armoring. So the parking lot is further compromised and now blocked off. The pavement parts of the park are crumbling into the ocean. The sandbags and riprap are continuing to contribute to the undoing of the beach and rendering it very vulnerable to having no beach in future there. Next video, please, Billy. This is San Clemente, South San Clemente, taken last month. This is part of the rail tracks at the pinch point below Cypress Shores community development. While an emergency permit was issued, yet again, to repair only 700 feet of the track, what you may not see is the bluff sloughage that wants to head to the beach and is being trapped by the K-rails on the other side of the rails. It's unable to replenish the beach at all, and the track armoring has literally obliterated this stretch of beach. These two areas and beaches in between this 7-mile stretch in South OC are very clear examples that we need to holistically evaluate and consider full managed retreat here and other places up and down our coast. We need to really start now on a plan for relocating the railroad line here in this area, in this 7-mile area. We need to use sound coastal planning and engineering and secure financing. Stop relying on emergency permits over and over because they're not helping these situations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Laura Walsh, followed by Margot Griswold, and then Patricia McPherson. Laura Walsh.
Hi, I'm Laura Walsh. I'm the California Policy Manager for Surfrider Foundation, and my comments will be pretty quick and along the lines of the previous two commenters, but I just wanted to quickly highlight Ocean Beach in San Francisco. Maybe the second slide is actually a video, if we could play that, and I'll talk over it. And I'm highlighting this one because it's right outside my house, and also because the emergency measures here on this beach are really familiar to people. This would be just north of Fort Funston, the photos that Director Hucklebridge showed, where there's all that like World War II stuff on the beach. And I'm just showing this one because you can see how the temporary measures, the sandbags, it basically just results on more trash, like with more trash on the beach. And the city here, we're so familiar with it. This commission already granted a 2015 permit for temporary shoreline armoring for this area. There's been big fill projects. That sand is gone. It's temporary measures over and over again in an area that has been studied for more than 10 years. Very well known as really high surf, crazy swells that destroy the beach. The erosion here is not stopping. South Ocean Beach is a pinch point. It doesn't need any more temporary measures. So we're kind of focusing at Surfrider on all these areas that have just had really consistent temporary measures over and over again. And a lot of these places have already bought time, and we want to see real long-term planning when they come for their permits. Thank you.